My life be like, ooh, yeah, ooh.
YouTube, what's going on? My name's Azza. Welcome back to my channel. Just a quick appreciation post there for the new subscribers that I've just gained over the last few days or so. Thank you for subscribing, guys. Do appreciate it, and I'm going to make that a constant theme now going forward. So we kick things off on Suzuka West in the Forza GT series. If you guys are following me on Twitter, my links are down below. If not, and obviously there's going to be a little banner on the screen. So yeah, do me a favour, please subscribe if you haven't already, guys, and definitely follow me on Twitter because that's where I do a lot of posting and I do want to try and get interactive with you all viewers. So, like I say, we're on Suzuka West and I started bang in the middle of the pack. So we've now got ourselves up into 4th place and we're behind 2 Jaguars and a Maserati. Now, if any of you guys know the Forza GT series, you know that them 3 cars are rapid down the straight. Now, there's not many corners in this, it's more straights than it is corners. So I was thinking I'm going to have to try and get him in the infield section. So between sort of after the first corner, the fast left kink, and basically where we are now. That's where I need to plan my overtakes because I'm going to struggle to stay ahead of them down the back straight. So in 4th place, and we're coming into the double left-hander. I do believe it's called spoon curve, and it does cause a lot of issues. It's a long sweeping corner. You do have to clip that apex at the very last second to try and get a real good drive down the straight. I was too tight, and thus the Jaguar managed to power past me with his acceleration grip out of the corner. So the top end of the actual Bentley isn't too bad, to be fair, and I was going to make a dive up the inside there, but I thought we're on lap 2, what's the point? Because if I hit his front end and we go off, it's game, set and match. You know, I'm not going to possibly win the race. So that's a little top tip for you guys. If you're in the Forza GT series, like the Endurance series, or if there's damage, I wouldn't attempt any sort of do or die manoeuvres in the first sort of opening laps. Towards maybe halfway through the race, yeah, because you're going to pit in anyway, you know. Whereas if I'd have done that damage, I don't know, the brakes for example, I'd have had to pit in and then I'd have had to nurse the car home for what, 16, 15 and a half laps. It's just not worth it, guys. So just be sensible in the opening laps of the Forza GT or any other series that you're racing with. So guys, we're into this long right-hander now, and I managed to pull a bit of a gap on the Jaguar behind. So 3rd place, I'm going to try and sink my teeth in, and I'm going to try and, like I say, get him in that 1st and 2nd sector of this track, because the first, where it, you know, where the straight is, and obviously the back straight before this corner here that we're on now, I can't overtake him really. Just as the Bentley's starting to get into its stride, we have to brake, so the acceleration isn't there. So we come across the line and it's got a nice Valentino Rossi livery on that Jaguar. Into this fast left-hander here, like I say, avoid that curve on the right there as much as possible if you can, because it will unsettle the car if it's low or too stiff. Cut that corner perfectly, kept it in 2nd gear. I was testing new things, banged it down into 1st, got a bit of oversteer to try and step the back end out and power me out of that corner. Now into this fast right-hander again, another dodgy corner. There's a big dip in the road there. If your car's too low, it'll bottom out, it'll scrape and it'll understeer or oversteer, sim twitch you, and it'll send you straight off into the gravel trap. And if you go in there, it's like sinking sand. You're not getting out for about 12 minutes. So powering out of this tight left-hander, trying to get the power down, traction control helping me out there, up into 3rd, up into 4th, and we're powering down. And like I say, I can see that Jaguar in sight. It's in slipstream distance, and as you can see, I'm up on my time, half a second up. So fingers crossed I can try and keep improving, because about 2 or 3 days ago I was terrible in Forza GT. Terrible. I was completely average, and you know, when I race S-Class and A-Class, I'm always setting decent leaderboard times. Now, it's not as competitive as R-Class, you know, this Forza GT series. Now I've learned kind of how to tune the cars, you know, with the balancing and things like that. I'm kind of getting a lot better. My lap times are a lot faster than they were. I'm shaving literally half a second off at least on each sort of track. Now into this tight right-hander, and then again into this super tight right-hander, super late on the brakes, too late in fact. I have to lock up to avoid sort of hitting that Jaguar in front. Now into this horrible right-hand corner. It's a corner that I absolutely hate. You can get on the power quite early, but if the back end grips too much, like I said on the last lap, guys, it's going to ping you straight into that gravel trap. So we're super close now, and I was thinking about sneaking up the inside here, but I just thought that it's not worth it yet. I don't think I was close enough. I think he kind of thought I was going to go for an overtake, so he held out wide to try and do the cutback. And obviously, unfortunately, the Jaguar behind me absolutely pammeled me in the back. It's not his fault, so yeah, racing incident. So we're on to the fast right-hander here now, and like I say, we're going to be super late on the brakes, and we're going to try and close the gap as much as we can to try and get in that toe for this straight. Super wide onto the corner entry here, clip that apex beautifully, get the power down nicely, and tuck in behind this Jaguar to try and get the slipstream and the toe all the way down the straight. As you can see here now, I'm starting to claw him back ever so slightly, and again, still way too far for a do or die lunge in the first corner. And I'm thinking now, I'm close enough just to ram it up the inside. I was going to, he was super late on the brakes. Fair enough to him, I wasn't going to outbrake him there. And I'm touch tight on him here, and I'm thinking that's going to have to be the corner that I'm going to overtake him on, because I can get the power down so well out of that first corner, well, second corner. I'm just thinking I'm going to get the power down nicely. If I can get the drive out, I'm just going to ram it up the inside and park the bus there. And hopefully you won't be able to sort of power around the outside. So with that in my mind now, my biggest goal here is to just stay as close as possible. He did leave it quite late then to turn, and I was thinking about parking it up the inside then, but because I already had in mind I was going to try and do him on turn 3, I kind of bottled it, you know. If that was the old me or an S-Class, I'd have been straight in that gap. If there's a gap there, I'm going in it. Whereas in Forza GT, because there's damage and things like that, I am a bit more careful, should we say, with my overtake. Still aggressive, but very careful nonetheless. So, managed to get a really poor drive coming out of this corner, but I wasn't threatened because I've got the toe down the straight, and that first corner I've absolutely smashed it. So, time after time again, I'm confident, and I know I can do this corner absolutely perfect. So, super late on the brakes yet again, slam it in, clip that apex perfectly. He's ran wide, and I'm thinking, right, it's game over now, Sonia. It's game over. Straight banging into second, touch tight on him there, clip the back end of him there, and I did feel guilty if I did ram it up the inside of him there. I was a bit too far as well, but that was my excuse, I'll use that one. So, first place is getting away, and I was kind of getting a bit agitated now, thinking, right, we're nearly halfway through. I need to get past this guy. I need to get past him, but I want to do it sensibly. Don't want to ram him, don't want to bang him, don't want to knock him off, don't want to knock myself off, don't want to ruin anybody's races. So, like I said on the laps before, guys, I'm just staying as close as I can, looking for that mistake. Mid-corner, I'm just going to be as close as possible as I can, because if he can constantly see my front end, it's just going to spook him. It's going to make him make mistakes and be as late as possible on the brakes to try and pull that gap away from me to stop it from happening, and mistakes will happen. Late on the brakes into this first left-hander, run it out wide, and I must have been a bit too late on the downshift. It didn't spin the back end as much as I wanted it to angle me down this straight so I could get the power down nice and early. A bit of understeer, it did cost me a bit of time, but I'm thinking, right, lap 7 of 18, it's happening now. I'm due in the pits shortly anyway, maybe 2 or 3 laps time. So I need to make this overtake work, and I need to make it stick. My guys ran wide there, and I'm thinking, right, it's game time now, baby. It's over. Straight into second gear, late apex, on the power nice and early, straight up the inside, turned a bit too early, cut the curb ever so slightly, powered it out, and we are away in second place, guys. And now, obviously, we need to make mincemeat of that Maserati. However, first things first, I've got to try and pull a gap on this Jaguar. Like I said, he's got the legs and the speed and the acceleration down the straights. So I just need to run my own race now, make sure there's no gaps for him to take, but I'm already making mistakes. I locked the brake into the hairpin, and unfortunately it did cost me a bit of corner speed. I was nice and early on the power though. I managed to get the acceleration down quite well, and I am away up into fourth, probably up into fifth gear by now, maybe 140 mile an hour, 150 nearly. Slam the brakes on here for this long left-hander. Now, like I said, I need to try and get a gap and a bit of a distance so he's not in the toe and he doesn't power past me down this back straight. I think I'm far enough here. On the power, nice and early. We're in third, up into fourth. And looking back, I don't think that Jaguar was close enough to get the toe down the straight and overtake me. As you can see there, I've got a nice, at least half a second gap on him. Up into turn 1, obviously, like I say, I know how to do this corner in this Bentley. Clip the apex perfectly. Ran a tiny bit wide, using all of the curve. A bit of a back end step out there, nothing that the Bentley cannot handle. Down into first. Short shift up into seconds. Into this tight right-hander, fire it out, get the grip down. Coming down into turn 4 and 5, the Maserati unfortunately did suffer, I think, a sim twitch, and it did actually end up on the grass. And I think the Jaguar behind it, so that is the race. Guys, this is now the end of the video. If you did like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. I do have the tune for this saved, and I will upload it if I get 10 likes on this video. Please like, comment and subscribe, and stay tuned for more.
Free.